Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to our next Channeling the New Earth Teachings group channeling event in which I channel Ascended Master Lakeshma. If you're familiar with me and my work, Lakeshma is someone who I channel monthly. She's an Ascended Master from Atlantis, and she teaches the parallels with the first Great Awakening shift, which is now occurring now. It's a parallel. So basically, as you will know, we're going into a great expansion of collective consciousness. And there's a lot of parallels with what happened in Atlantis in the time of the first great consciousness expansion. So looking forward to bringing her through. And we are joined by lovely Patreon members. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi. All right, so I'm going to go now into trance and bring forth a Lakeshma for you. See you on the other side. Well, hello, dear ones. It is Lakeshma coming through. It is with such love that we come through today to remind you of the love that you are, to remind you of the power that you are, to remind you of the divinity that you are, because you are now on the journey to remember more of who you are. And how exciting is that? That you are now starting to see evidence of who you are in your oneness consciousness and evidence in your divinity expressed through you outwardly as you embody your divine self, as you embody your galactic self, as you embody the new form of being, the new form of human, the new form of evolution that is now being expressed through you. You have been moving forwards one step at a time. You have been uniting and integrated those separated aspects of self that has allowed you to have an experience of a separated self, that allowed you to have an experience of a separated reality. It's allowed you to experience life in the way which you desired. You wanted to come here to experience duality, to experience fear, only to remember the truth, that was just an illusion, to remember the truth, that you are divine, that you are love, that all is oneness. And that's why you have been seeing so many shifts happening externally. That's why you've been seeing many, we would say, tremendous events that's happening throughout your world. It's all a shift of consciousness. It has allowed you to go inwards. It has allowed you to be catalyzed. It has allowed you to ask those existential questions. It has allowed you to remember who you are. It has allowed you to be evident of how strong you are, of how courageous you are, of how connected you are, that you are one. Understand, dear ones, that you are emerging in the most powerful, pivotal point in your evolution. It's not by accident. There is so many things occurring in your world. Understand here, dear ones, that you are so highly advanced. Only the most advanced beings are existing here in your reality. Only the most advanced beings are here right now, being the intermediaries, being the bridge of consciousness from the physical world, from the non-physical world. That those are only the most advanced beings that could weather this transition from the depths of the amnesia, only to remember glimpses of who you are, the oneness connection, only to be then triggered back into the amnesia state. It takes a very powerful person to weather this transition. And not only to weather this transition, but to expand from this transition. Because you have all the technologies within you to overcome any obstacle in front of you, because you are God creators, powerful, divine creators. Because you are truly multidimensional, truly divine. It is all within you. It is only your beliefs. It is only your perceptions of a limited self, of a limited reality that disconnects you from this remembrance, from this truth. So you're being called now, dear ones, to raise that perception of self, of love, of oneness, of your brothers and sisters, in knowing that they are you. So let go of the judgment of self, of others, because all others are you. Do you wish to remember the love that you are? Do you wish to remember the oneness and divinity that you are? If you want to remember this in your conscious awareness, then you're being called now to see the oneness, not only in yourself, but the oneness in all. It is up to you if you want to allow this prolonged duality consciousness to be in your reality. You have the choice. You have the choice to choose separation or the choice to choose oneness. You do this through your beliefs, your perceptions. Will you allow yourself to forgive if you feel that there is a resentment there, that there is a judgment there on yourself or others? In higher truth, forgiveness is not needed because all is perfect. But if you have these beliefs and this resentment and this judgment, that's creating a certain energetic, we would say, interchange that is disconnecting you from all that is, then allow it to be. Forgive and accept all that is. Forgive yourself by accepting yourself, by accepting others. You do not have to agree with certain behaviors, but understand if you can be in acceptance, you let go of the resistance and these energetic interchanges that holds you into a attached state of fear, of separation. If you want to integrate your separate aspects of self into a oneness remembered state, then you are to consciously practice oneness in action by love in action, because love is who you are. Love is all others are. So when you find yourself, judging another, take the awareness that you are in fact judging yourself. Would you want to judge yourself? Do you want to remember who you are in love? It's about consciously practicing this love. Yes, things will trigger you. You might be angry. You might feel defensiveness, anger, sadness, all the human emotions. But understand, all these human emotions are just represented by your separated dimensions of self. These are your shadow selves, the shadow dimensions, the separated realities that you co-created to experience a reality of duality, of perception, that you are disconnected. But understand, you were here to explore this. You wanted to experience this amnesia. You wanted to know what it was like to feel so disconnected, to feel the fear, because guess what? You do not feel this in non-physical. There are many worlds that you are living in, many experiences, many dimensions where you don't have this opportunity. So understand it was a gift for you. It allowed you to experience the fullness of a physical reality. You were God creators. You are able to be consciously to create your reality and experience your creation. Understand, this is a highly advanced playground here. But understand, you do not have to explore this paradigm any longer if you so choose. Yes, you have a choice. You have a choice in how you play this game, because you have a choice to choose love or a choice to choose fear. Your reality will reflect your choice. Your dimensional experience will reflect this choice. And you always have a choice. This is your free will in action. But understand the collective is moving, is transcending this paradigm. The depths of amnesia is no longer. Because you are ready as a collective, because you as a collective have predominantly chosen love, and because you as a collective has predominantly chosen love, you are at an evolutionary stage of your race, of your consciousness. But as the collective moves and integrates this, you'll still have your individual felt experiences. For those who are resistant to letting go of the fear will still have this in their dimensional experience. Yes, it'll be softened because of the collective shifts, but you'll still experience this perception of separation until you choose love. Yes, it's active or active ones, but you are God creators and you have this power within you. You have the technologies within you. And it's all through perception. It's all through working the inner portals of your heart center in the present moment. Are you ready? Are you ready to truly remember your divinity? It takes courage to let go. It takes courage to accept. Yes, you have been conditioned to control your reality. You have been conditioned to push down any feelings that are unwanted. Those inner shadows, you have been conditioned to disregard them. Understand here, everything is coming up to the surface for you to address what needs to be addressed for your evolution. So, if you're feeling disconnected, if you are feeling that you are in pain, that you are in fear, understand it is for your evolution. You chose this pre-birth to explore certain conditions here because that's how powerful you are. But every challenge you co-created, you also had the toolkit to not just overcome it, but to expand from it. And not just expand yourself, but expand all those around you and the collective consciousness. This is how powerful you are. So honor yourself, honor your journey, honor the love that you are. Honor this grand evolutionary shift that you have now entered. Open your hearts to feel it all. It's a divine experience for you to feel such emotions. There were so many beings who wishes they could experience what you experience. You, out of all the beings in creation, all the beings in all the planes of existence and in non-physical, wishes they could experience what you experience. Wishes they could experience the pain and the fear and the love, the highs and the lows, because that's what allows you to have a real felt experience of physical reality. Because it's the catalyst, the polarity that propels you from fear to love, that creates the ripple effect, that expands all of the human collective, that expands Gaia, that expands all the universe, that expands source. It's a very powerful movement of energy. And it's all from the heart. It's a magnetic energy. All the vortexes within your very vessel is aligning, works together in perfect harmony to create this ripple effect. But you just do not see how powerful you are. So allow this to be validation of just how powerful you are, that you are love. So go forth and love boldly, dear ones. Love completely and wholeheartedly. And we know you have been conditioned to create boundaries when it comes to love. Let go of those boundaries. Let go of those walls. Be vulnerable. Surrender to love. Surrender to the love of your being. Some of you are afraid of your own power, but you're afraid of love itself. Because you have been conditioned that love is conditional. When you experience power, when you experience the love bubbling up in your heart center, you wish to contain it. You wish to put parameters on love because it makes you feel comfortable, makes you feel safe. because of your beliefs surrounding love. But unconditional love is different. Unconditional love is who you are. There is no conditions placed on love. There is no boundaries placed on love. There are no limits placed on love. So be love, embody love, express love to yourself and all others, because all others are you. Do you feel the love? When you feel the resistance to this love, it is because of your beliefs telling you that you are not worthy of love. And so you repress love once again. But know that you are worthy. If you truly want to tap into this infinite flow of unconditional love, then raise your perception of who you think you are. Raise your perception of self-love, of self-worth. You are God. How can you not be worthy? You are divine. You are oneness. You are the universe. How can you not be worthy? You are here, living and breathing. This is evidence to you of just how powerful you are and how worthy you are. Just by you being here, by you being willing to play the game of reality in this dimensional experience is evident to you of just how powerful, just how divine you are. Do you feel it? Do you feel it awakening within you? You are birthing new realities, a new awareness, new consciousness. And what comes with that are new abilities, new awareness. It is time to awaken from your slumber, dear ones. Understand that all slumbers, all dreams are part of your evolution. And it has been for you in every way. But now you've chosen another reality, another experience, because you're ready for it and the collective is ready for it. And it asks you to step boldly from the heart, to be your authentic self, to stand in your sovereign, divine, authentic power, to be unapologetically you, to be unapologetically love in all the ways, in all the forms which you're inspired to make the non-tangible tangible. And you are not alone in this journey. We are with you every step of the way. It is with such love that we come through today, dear ones.
Hi, Lakeshma.
Hello, dear one.
So, Lakeshma, the ascension. What's interesting, I've been having a lot of conversations around this. It's because there's so few of us that really understand that we're in a grand planetary shift. And I'm really okay with that. But one of the things that keeps on like running through my mind is that there's going to be another awakening. And so this is how it was explained to me, and hopefully this will crack you guys up, was they said, Isabel, the passengers have bought their cruise tickets for next year. So get your crew ready, the teachers and whatnot, because your passengers are going to come on your ship. So I said, okay, I totally understand. Like, it's time to prepare and it's time to gather us. But because I have this knowing, I'm also trying to be very loosey-goosey with it, Lakeshma. But I feel like, what can you give advice around a lot of humans awakening even more so? Like, what does that look like? Not that I'm afraid of it, Lakeshma. It's just like logistics of it, or are they just going to be looking for a lot of teachers? Are they going to be seeking a lot of information? Is that why we're being prepared now for our brothers and sisters? And if you could, I just keep on thinking of it, because I feel like there's going to be another big push for more humans awakening. And like right now, Lakeshma, nobody knows what an ascension teacher is right now. I mean, there's so few humans that understand, which again, it's fine. But yeah, so I was just wondering if you could give us like any advice around this.
Ones. Within the Lightworkers and way showers communities, in which you'd like to label it as, those who have a calling to empower others as well as themselves, are going through many shifts at the moment. Many, we would say, in a way, they are somewhat forced to face their shadow selves because they're now being activated. And that's why you see many shifts in the Lightworker communities, that there are many, even though they have the calling, are currently experiencing a lot of fear. They're currently seeing perceptions of victim mentality and control on their world. It is part of the awakening process, let's just say. And this is why you've all been called to go within, to process, because if you do not process, you awaken through the stage of awakening, through the lenses of fear. This is not wrong. This is part of ascension journey. And sooner or later, you'll be guided back on the pathway home to love remembrance. But for those of you are already in alignment to love and seeing the perfection in all that is, seeing the love in all that is, seeing the oneness in all that is, you are at I would say, another stage of your journey here. You are preparing not only yourself, but also for the collective, for the next stage that is going to propel the human collective into the next stage of oneness remembrance. We have talked of this, how the earth, how the collective is preparing for them to know overtly, openly, that you are not alone in the universe. Understand that when this happens, when the majority we would say integrates this into the conscious awareness, that they then are able to work through the dissonance that can happen when someone is very attached to certain beliefs about who they are and about where they are from and about the collective, due to certain beliefs, such as those that perhaps are aligned to certain religions, certain conditionings. This might be very challenging for them to know that they are not alone in the universe, and they will seek answers. They will seek guidance. For many of you, you have already asked existential questions. You have already processed those inner shadows to such a point that when this event happens, you will not fall into that process of dissonance. You'll be at a point in your vibration where you'll be able to maintain the light within you and then be able to also assist others who may be in fear. Because yes, even though for many of you it will be a joyous time and a validation and a rejoicing that you are now reconnected to your galactic brothers and sisters, but for many others in this world, for those who have been attached to their inner shadows, this is going to propel them even further to ask those existential questions, to ask those questions: who am I? Where is my place in this world? Where is my place in the universe? It is an evolutionary shift that is a program that many civilizations go through, and timelines even of your past and your perception of past. It's a vital step in the movement to oneness remembrance. It is one thing to unite the peoples of a land, of a civilization through certain world events. And is another thing when they can consciously integrate the knowing that there is an other outside of themselves, outside of their race. When that happens, it'll automatically trigger another wave of integration, another wave of remembering their oneness. And yes, there will be many in fear because of this, not because that they bring fear, not because the galactic brothers bring fear. It is because it triggers the unknown within them. For many of you, you have this attachment to the unknown, and this triggers fear in you. And this is why you control your conditions. You like to have the safety net. So by you being in a state of control, by you being attached to certain beliefs, by you not exploring the unknown for the fear of fear itself, when certain events happen that propels you into the unknown, this can trigger this shadow self, this trigger self that many is still holding of the unknown. So if you can address this now, if you can process the unknown, if you can practice receiving the guidance and stepping into the unknown, but trusting the flow of the universe, when this event happens, you can embody more of your light. And for many that will seek questions, they will seek out answers from places that perhaps do not have the answers, because they themselves in certain structures and organizations we would say would not be prepared for such events. They would not have the right answers that they seek. But you will have the answers. That is how powerful you are. And this is why, in your perception, you are waking up in your terminology before many others, because you are the light for others. When others are in fear, you will be able to hold yourself in the light, anchor yourself in the light, anchor yourself in the love of who you are, to be that strength for others. Understand that this event that will be coming is coming from a point of love. There is nothing to fear in this event. Though others, because of their conditions, because of their beliefs, they may interpret it as something other than it is. They might interpret it as something that propels them into this grand unknown. And this will trigger a lot of fear.
So it's Lakeshma, it's really going into the unknown, right? It's really being uncomfortable in the unknown, which is probably why I've stepped into the unknown, like move, have no idea where I'm living, really embracing the unknown. And it was because I said, so, why did I have to go so deep into the unknown? And they said, you had to get used to your own power. You had to get used to, you had to understand your body was your home, that you didn't need a structure, that everything is provided for, that you didn't need a stable income of a job, right? And I said, okay, that makes sense. And so stepping into the unknown is probably a passage for a lot of humanity, is to go into the unknown so that we can know ourselves, right? And that's the irony of life, because like we think going into the unknown, we don't know ourselves, but that's really when we get to know ourselves, is by going into the unknown. And so I guess what I'm hearing from you, Lakeshma, and I mean, it makes perfect sense, but it would push a lot of humans into the unknown because they don't know, right? And that gets them really scared, because safety and security is such a paramount here. The number one concern is safety and security. But they don't realize they're always safe and secure because they're so powerful. And so, okay, that kind of makes sense. What's happening to me, understanding, and you're right, because getting familiar with the unknown and being in the unknown it does make you secure in your own light.
And this is why many people around the world has preparing for this. They've been living through certain worldwide events that has allowed them to ask similar existential questions that has allowed them to explore the unknown when certain conditions, we would say, manifest in the way that they do not prefer. So let's just say that the collective has had tastes of the unknown. They've been able to go more gently to explore the unknown in a way that they can handle in their vibration. For you see the stages of evolution, it does need to go in stages, one step at a time, one dimension at a time, because if the human collective and all perception of individual beings go too many steps ahead in this process, it becomes a type of dissonance. And this dissonance comes with a disbelief, and this can disconnect you from your reality. So this is why we gently prepare you. This is why you start to explore these themes in a gentle fashion. And then as you adapt and as you integrate the changes that are necessary, then you then are ready to explore more intense events and so forth. So it is everything that becomes manifested in the physical reality is done so in a way that can allow the human collective to move through this evolutionary shift in the most, we would say, effortless way, even though in your perception, you might not see it as effortless. You might see struggle. You might see a lot of people in disharmony, in pain, in experiencing many adverse events in their life. So from a human point, you see this as chaos. But understand here, it's people exploring certain soul contracts, people exploring certain dimensions of their own journey in a way that relates to what they chose to explore here. So that's why some people are having more extreme versions of reality, more intense, more catalyzing dimensions of reality. It's because they wanted to go deeper within themselves. They wanted to activate more of their inner power. So you cannot compare your journey with another journey, but everyone is on this journey together. It's just a unique journey. And this is why there are so many people that have different experience of the one event. Because even though collective you are going through certain events together, you will have a perception of individualized experiences because of your vibration, because of your unique pre-birth intentions, because of your unique energy creation makeup, because of your unique divine blueprint. But understand, all the shifts that you see is a reflection of the shifts in consciousness, is the movements of energy that is allowing the collective to face their inner shadows so they can move into higher states of evolution, to allow more light in, to allow more expansion in. It is the way of the polarity system. You wanted to experience the polarity of fear and love to propel you into higher states of consciousness, higher states of evolution. So this is what you experience in your outer reality, reflected, manifested in your world. It is these shifts of consciousness that is propelling you, catalyzing you to go within, force to go within your heart center, to integrate the separated self, to ask us existential questions, to get comfortable with the unknown, to evolve, to expand. So when the next stage comes, you'll be more able to manage. You'll be at a higher frequency to navigate the ever-changing realities. So if you are having certain issues, certain challenges, know it is for your evolution. And you are not only assisting yourself in your perception of self, you are affecting the whole collective consciousness. You are assisting in the whole collective moving to higher states of consciousness in their remembrance. Because, yes, you're already enlightened beings. You've just forgotten. But as you move to higher states of consciousness, you'll start to remember these higher states of consciousness in your conscious awareness. So this is why sometimes it feels more intense for you, because you wanted this expansion one step ahead of others, so you can really anchor into your light when those may experience fear, or those that might have many existential questions that cannot be answered from places where they usually get answers from. They'll seek from new places of answers. as new realities become manifested into your present now reality. And it's all for your evolution because you all wanted it. You were all so highly advanced that you were able to process any evolution shift that comes into your present now reality, dear one. Is there any other questions today, dear ones?
Would Eric like to ask first before I ask Paulette's question? Okay. Paulette has a question. She asks, once we fully function from the oneness state in the human form or beyond, then does our individual will or aspirations become more that of the oneness or even source will? Do we still have individual desires in that state? Thank you.
Dear one, understand that there are many dimensions, many experiences of oneness realities. At your current evolutionary stage, it is a movement of one dimension at a time, one evolutionary step at a time. And because it's one evolutionary step at a time, you do not have to concern yourself, we would say, to that point where there'll be no individualization. Because those versions of you, yes, they already exist in the multiverse. And you will attract that dimension, that reality into your present now when the collective is at that certain frequency point to attract that dimension into the now. So in your current evolutionary processes and your stage of oneness remembrance, you'll get to a point where you'll become, we would say, more remembered in who you are. With each generation, they become more attuned to who they are. We would say the step from where you are today and the step to you to remember that you are source, that you are one with very little individualization is that would say there was many steps in between that step. So it would be, we would say, one reality at a time until you get to that dimensional expression. So until then, you will experience in your reality, in your perception of linear time, because time is an illusion, you'll experience that because you're in a polarity system. You will find yourself being more in tune to your oneness state. You will still have individualization because you are a unique frequency of source. Because if you want to exist outside of single point origin, if you want to have a perception of a physical reality, then you need a perception of individualization. Physical reality cannot exist without a perception and an experience of individualization. Of course, the points of existence where you do not need individualization will be a point where you do not need physical reality. It's at that point where you exist in your conscious awareness in realms of non-physical. But because you, at this time of your current evolution, wanted to experience physical reality, then you are required to also experience individualization. But there were different, we would say, in your terminology, levels of this expression. So yes, you will be, we would say, integrating both concepts, both realms in the now, in your reality. You'll be in a point where you'll be consciously connected to your oneness reality. You'll be able to communicate in the communication cycle that is interwoven within all life. So yes, you'll be able to communicate in non-physical ways to your brothers and sisters, to the elements of Gaia and beyond, through the connection of life that connects you and all life. Yes, you have this within you in your portal. So you'll be able to get to the point where you can do this, but you'll also have a felt experience of individualization, because you'll still have, even though you move forward in your reality through collective soul contracts, you will still, as you are still in physical reality, you will still come through with we would say perception of individualized soul contracts, pre-birth intentions. These are things you wish to explore here. There could be certain desires or certain roles you wish to explore here. So with that, you will get to a point where you will be influenced by your unique vibration, so your divine blueprint, which holds a unique frequency, because it holds the imprints of all the lives you have lived and are living, and all the abilities and wisdoms within that, and all your higher self aspects, as we would say, integrated to allow you to have a very unique expression of source consciousness in physical reality. So this will be projected and be perceived as an individualization of self. But you will at the same time be connected consciously to your oneness reality. At the same time of your felt and experienced nature of individualization, you'll be able to communicate and tap into the oneness of all that is. Not only communicate with your brothers and sisters and all life forms on earth and beyond, you'll also be able to travel in non-physical plane, in your conscious awareness. Because yes, you already travel in your meditations, in the astral states, in your dream states, you already traveled the multiverse. It's just that for most of you, you do not remember your travels. So you'll get to a point where you can be conscious of such travels and connection. So you'll be living in both worlds, so to speak. And this is a particular point of mastery in your evolution. But to get to the point of mastery in your evolution, you are to go through the next stage of human evolution, which is coming. That is the integration of the knowing that you are not alone in the universe. So you can be consciously connected in your, not just consciously, but in your physical felt experience of reality to the galactic worlds and universes and multidimensional selves. So this will help to further activate and integrate you into those higher states of evolution. So you see, dear ones, you are on a pathway of such great expansion, of such joy, of such excitement. And if you so choose, you can come here once again in a reality, in your conscious awareness, where you get to explore these high states of consciousness. Because yes, you have a choice if you wish to come back here. And for those of you that are here right now, you are holding a certain an ascension key for the rest of the collective, and for the collective that is still to come, expressed in physical reality. You can call yourself as gatekeepers for this evolutionary shift, because it is through you being here in physical form, by you being the bridge that allows the next generations to come through, that is aligned to these higher states of consciousness. This is just showing you just how connected and powerful and divine you are. So it's just, we would say, engaging with the soul lessons that is evident, that is manifested in your current dimensional state of existence. Yes, at times you will get to explore and have glimpses of these, what you perceive to be future dimensions of your evolution. But understand, if you do perceive this, if you are able to access this in the now, it's a message for you. But understand, no matter what dimensions that you are exploring in, consciously or otherwise, it's about focusing on the now reality, the present now reality. Because that is when you can align to the heart portal and the present moment portal, to allow the most, we would say, the deepest connection to your wisdom and your abilities to be expressed through you into your now reality. Do you want?
Okay, so hello. This leads me to the question that I wanted to ask. So all my life, I've just been thinking, oh, what's the purpose of my life? My purpose of a life is like to explore, to do this, to travel, blah, 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 to love. But because of the pandemic, it's really sent me back into deep in my heart, or, you know, to myself, to figure out what really is the purpose of life. And I've kind of come to understanding or realization to a fact that there is no purpose to actually this life. It is just to live and be there, and that's it. It kind of makes me sad, but it also makes me feel like this is true. So are you able to tell me, like, just for me personally, the purpose of my life is just to live and do all the things that I wanted to do and nothing more than that? Whatever I feel like doing in the moment, sort of thing. It might be silly, just making something nice to eat, to like exploring something, but that's it. No like grand purpose that people live with, to change this something in the world, to change that, to change blah, blah, blah. But yeah, can you help me answer, like, is that true? The purpose of my life is like nothing really. It's just to live in this human form. Thanks.
Diwan, there are many perceptions and many aspects of purpose and why you were here. We would say that overriding the most foundational level, the purpose for the human collective is to be, is to love, is to express, is to experience. As you create your physical reality, as you process the inner shadows, as you process your reality, you expand yourself and all that is. And because of the way you process, the way you perceive things, you expand through either fear or love or a bit of both. That is part of the human experience. However, D1, you and many others, and you like to label this as light workers or Washowas, there are a group of beings that have we would say, an added mission here, let's just say. And this added mission is to empower the collective in a conscious way. Yes, it does not mean you have to have a grand mission, so to speak. A purpose, a specific mission to empower others comes from a point of taking inspired actions, by being engaged with your passions, by hearing the call within your heart center. And you might not see it as a grand mission because you might perceive that it does not touch many people, but understand every time that you express from your divinity, every time that you express from that passion and desire to empower others, whether it is a single word to others, whether it is more, you create an energetic shift that you cannot comprehend and conceive in a current form of human consciousness, let's just say. So it's about also keeping the mystery, because if you knew every step of your journey, you would not have the desire to live. You will not have that drive and that hope and that yearning, asking those questions. This is what keeps you alive. This is what allows you to have a full human experience. So this is why there is an element of amnesia about why you are here, and certain things in relations to your being, your expression in physical reality. You don't want all the answers, because if you had all the answers, it would take away from your full human experience here. But understand, because you are here, because you're asking questions, there is a part of you who seeks to know who they are, because you have this yearning, you have your higher selves within you, this knowing, this of your enlightenment state. It is coming through into your conscious awareness, and this is why you are asking such questions and wanting to know more about who you are. Know that you are here to empower others. And the way in which you empower others, we would say, is through your creativity. And it's about letting go of the attachments of how many people you reach through your creativity. It's about understanding that if you engage in expressing your creativity, you create energy shifts. You bring forth imprints and codes through your creativity. And these are types of light codes, light language. It can come in many different forms through your creation expressions. So engage in your creativity, express that passion within you. We know it's within you. Part of you have pushed it away because you may not see yourself being successful in a human perception of success. You may perceive it to be uninspiring perhaps for people, so you do not see it as a purpose. But understand it is through your creativities where your gifts are. And if you allow yourself to really embrace your creativity within your heart and express what is there to be expressed, you will receive the next key. You will receive the next activations to allow you to explore the next stage of your evolution. But you have free will. Understand there is no need, if you do not want to explore these specific missions here, these specific soul contracts here. You have free will. If you do not explore certain things, it does not matter, because the overriding purpose is to be, is to love, is to express. It's just those of you who are in the stage of consciousness that you are remembering more of who you are. You have also chosen to remember more of your Pacific soul purpose here, your Pacific soul mission here. And this is just a more, we would say, finely tuned, focused expression of your purpose. It is just a very, we would say, unique, purposeful expression of your love. That is all it is. And it will come to you when you are ready. There is no time. There is no race. It's about you being your authentic self, expressing whatever it is in your heart, knowing that however you express, knowing that it will empower others in the way it's supposed to empower others. And when you can do that, you'll find yourself more grounded into physical reality, because by doing such expressions from your heart center, creative expressions from your heart center, you are activating more of who you are. And because of this, you would say your sensitivities will become more expanded, and you will feel more purposeful. Let's just say you'll feel more alive in your physical form, because you will then have an alignment to a greater purpose beyond the beingness of your being. But understand, just by you being your beingness, you are expressing your purpose. But those such as yourself who've chosen to remember, you have chosen to be even more specific with that. So listen to your heart. Listen to the inner calling. Express, no matter if it's for yourself, no matter if it's journaling, no matter if it's certain creativity projects, just with the audience of yourself. This is you stepping into that greater expression of love. And then with that, you'll activate more purpose, more passion, more ways to express your love outwardly. It is a representation of love which activates all others and all the versions of you to one.
Thank you.
2-1. Is there any other questions today?
I have a question.
Yes, D1.
We've been having these sessions now for quite some time, and the more and more information I get, the more I learn. The less I think I know. It's kind of some kind of duality there, that I feel less and less ready to help and teach others about this. I feel I know less and less. It's kind of frustrating. I don't see how I could ever help someone, because it's all the information is just I can't make sense of it in the way I used to be able to make sense of things. And I don't know if you have a comment on that.
Because, D1, you are operating from a new dimension of reality. Things are starting to feel unclarified because you are not used to this dimension of reality. You are used to controlling your reality. You're used to controlling your reality in such a way that's based on certain beliefs that tells you who you are, that tells you your identity, that tells you your place in the world. And when that shifts, It gives the appearance and it gives a felt sense that your world is kind of crumbling around you, that you are in this space of the unknown. When you feel perhaps not grounded into the wisdom of who you are, it's because who you are is shifted to such a point you are now navigating from a higher dimension. And it takes time to integrate those energies and to navigate your new realities. And this is why we have been saying it's a conscious action to bring the navigation of reality from the ego mind, from the controls that you have been attached to, that many of the collective have been attached to, with the conditions of control, bringing it into the heart center, which is your elevated, new, expanded navigation system. And instead of thinking your way from reality, thinking about how you can assist others, how you can empower others, all these thinking analogies is from the mind. So let go of the thinking and just be in the heart center. We would say, it can feel unusual and can create some dissonance here when you lived your life to such a point where it's been very much focused, thinking your way through reality, analyzing your way through reality, controlling your reality. And now you're being called to drop all that and to feel your way through reality, to do actions, not from thoughts, not from thinking your way, but receiving that message, by receiving the inspired thought, by receiving a feeling and acting on the knowing. It is a different operation system. So understand, you want, it takes time to navigate your reality. But at the same time, it is also about trusting. Understand, for you to teach people, to empower others, you don't have to come up to a point of intellectually knowing it all. Being from a point of complete sovereign power, of felt wholeness, of love expression in your now, a true teacher, a true leader in this great awakening of consciousness shift that is now upon you, is to be the authentic leader from your heart, is to express and to show others who you are and the ways of being in the now. It does not matter if you perceive yourself to not know it all, to not be the perfect expression of health and wellness. It does not matter. Yes, in the old paradigm of navigating your reality from those paradigms of reality that's very much based on duality, to be a leader, it was conditioned that you are to be the level of mastery in the information that you know, and a level of mastery in your own well-being, in your manifestation processes. But understand that representation is no longer viable in this current Great Awakening shift. The new leader of the new earth is to express, to be vulnerable, to express who you are, wherever you are in your path, wherever you are in your journey. Because if you can show vulnerability, if you can show authenticity, you give permission to others to be their authentic self, to express and be okay where they are. If there is a projection, a persona of a leader that seems to be in a perfect place in their life of health, wellness, of manifestations, of knowing and tapped into the full wisdom within them, understand that for other people, this can create a feeling of not being worthy, that they too have to be at this point to be worthy enough to be a leader. Can you see here now that can be limiting for others to be a leader from this perspective? So to be a leader in its full complexity in the now, in this new earth consciousness that you have called it, is to express yourself authentically, vulnerability, to allow others to see you wherever you are. If you're in pain, if you feel disconnected, understand that you're expressing your experiences. Understand how it can help others, empower others. Drop it into the heart. It's a new way of leading. But you must know that you're worthy of it now, wherever you are in your journey. You are doing it just now. You ask yourself, how can you teach? You are doing it just now by you asking this question. You're already teaching. This is showing you that you're already a teacher. It's just that you do not perceive yourself to be worthy and capable of it because you're basing your leadership abilities on old paradigms of reality that are no longer viable in this state of consciousness. If you want to be a leader and a teacher in this new era of consciousness, you are to be and express whatever you are guided to from a point of vulnerability, heart-centered vulnerability. And if you're not receiving that inspiration to take that action, then we would ask you to address those beliefs that you have about who you think you are. Start small. Get used to this paradigm of expressing yourself from point of vulnerability. When you have that inspiration comes to you, maybe it is you just having a conscious, open conversation with a friend. Perhaps it is to a few more people. Perhaps it is expressed in other mediums. It doesn't have to be a grand step. It is you just having the openness, the confidence and the courage to be you in your authentic self, no matter if you see yourself as weak or strong in each now moment. You are having a human experience. You are transmuting shadow selves. You're on a very powerful journey here, and you have experience of your journey. You have such wisdom to share from your own personal journey alone that can assist others. Can you see that there may be many others in your reality just like you who are on this path, who have been conditioned and attached to certain beliefs about who they are, certain consciousness, such as the very a predominant divine masculine consciousness that is now being rebalanced and united into the perfect union of divine feminine masculine consciousness within you. It is a paradigm shift within you. You have lived a life where you can see evidence of this and evidence of the changes within you. You can be that point of comfort for others who are also on this journey because you are experiencing it yourself. So understand there are many ways to inspire others, to teach others. But you are required to express one point of vulnerability. You'll be asked to allow others to see the real you in your vulnerability. So practice this on yourself by being comfortable with being uncomfortable, being able to sit in your uncomfortable emotions, to allow yourself to explore on deeper levels. So then in turn, you're able to express this to others, to show others, to illuminate the path for others by your vulnerability, by your experience on this path. Dear one, understand that everything that you are experiencing is for this purpose, is for why you were here, is for your evolution to expand not only yourself, but all that is and those around you. By you embodying the light. For you to embody the light is for you to get to know more of who you are. And that is what you are doing. There is no rush here. It's every step of your journey, honoring where you are at, knowing it is okay to not be okay. You're having a human experience. If you are not feeling okay, if you perceive yourself to not be in a point of being okay, this does not show that you are weaker than others. This does not show that you are less powerful. It's just part of why you are here and your specific soul contracts. It is to do with your unique frequency and your path here. It does not take away whatsoever just how powerful you are, how much love you are. It does not take away from that. You are perfect and complete and powerful no matter where you are in your journey. So honor your journey. By accepting your journey, perceiving your journey from a point of source consciousness. Can you practice acceptance in your journey, in all the stages of your journey? Can you elevate that even further and be grateful for all those stages of your journey? Can you perceive how this is adding to your ability to be a transformational teacher? Can you see how it's adding to your expression here in reality by you doing this work now, this inner work? You're being prepared. You are being given opportunities to use your mastery, to use your alchemy. You already have seen evidence of the powerful abilities you have, but you waver in your self-beliefs and your perceptions of self-capability. You are worthy because you've taken that decision to do the inner journey, to remember more of who you are. And because you've answered the call, you're also ready to empower others in a conscious way. You're already doing that unconsciously, but you are ready to do this on a conscious level of awareness. But yes, it'll ask you to become more vulnerable, to show the world more of who you are. So be comfortable with where you are in your journey, knowing that the power is in your vulnerable state. And you can touch many lives, many hearts from your point of vulnerability, dear one. It is for you in every way. So honor yourself, honor your journey, anchoring yourself into love in the now.
Thank you so much.
Is there any other questions before we finish here today? Dear ones, know that you are never alone. Know that you are love. Know that you are not separate. It might feel like you are separate. But if you want to remember more of the divinity that you are, that's the love that you are, start consciously practicing seeing the love in all others, but most importantly, the love within you, the oneness in all, the oneness in you. By not pushing away parts of you, by loving the parts of you and the parts of all others. This is how you and all the collective rise into further dimensions of oneness remembrance. Be comfortable exploring the unknown. Get comfortable exploring and trusting the flow of the universe. Allow yourself to go into areas through inspiration where you never thought possible for you to explore through. Allow yourself to widen your senses, to elevate your perception of self, to remind yourself that you are worthy of love because you are love, you are divine, you are source. Take time to connect and recalibrate to Gaia to assist you on your evolution here. For you are one with her and she's one with you. Understand that everything in your environment is assisting you and all others in your reality is assisting you in your evolution. Whether they are conscious teachers or disguised teachers, they're all here assisting you in your journey. The journey home to remember that you are perfect and complete, that you are loved, that you are whole, that you are one. It is with such love that we come through today. Until next time, farewell.